Sentinel Trailers is a company that we built and formed 6 years ago, mainly to focus our efforts on the trailer side of the world. We first started out building, there was a need for a mobile slaughter trailer. The previous owner had built one or two of these, and so we kind of had the concept and a few pictures. And with that, we were able to replicate, redesign, re-engineer the whole trailer from the ground up and start filling those needs. And with the feedback, we've been able to continue to grow and continue to make it better and better.
Yeah, the idea is, our target is the small to medium-sized butcher shop. It's helping them either do the farm kill side of things, if that's all they're doing, or if they have a brick and mortar butcher shop now and they want to expand their services and be able to to just grow their business. And we have a good solution. We have a great team here that works really hard, and we try to get better every time with every trailer we build. For example, last year we built a trailer for a farmer in Oklahoma. He's actually a doctor and owns a farm and has Scottish Highlanders, and they wanted to be able to just process their own on their farm. So occasionally we'll run into that where people want to process their own beef or their own livestock. We've done a lot of business with Native American tribes and helping them be able to manage their bison herds and be able to provide food for the people on their reservations.
So we're trying to think of a different name than Black Venom Products, and our elementary school, which is 9 miles north of our house or south of our house growing up, is the smallest elementary school in the state of Arizona, and that's where we went to school, and that's Sentinel School. We just decided Sentinel was a great name and we could stand by it.
Was that a one-room schoolhouse?
4.
Okay. There you go.
So we take the ability to make a butcher shop more efficiently. There's a lot of different solutions that we have been able to address, and the biggest one I feel like is that it makes your shop more efficiently. If you can control the inflow into the butcher shop, if you can go out, bring those animals to you, not be dependent on anybody else or anybody else's equipment. You just need to have an animal and know where it's at. That you could go out, get this animal, slaughter it, bring it back to your own shop, process it, and then thus being able to increase your throughput through your shop and creating more of a cash flow.
Also, there's some times where they may need to they don't have the cooler space, and so our trailers, the way they're designed is they have a transfer switch on them, so when they're in the field they run on a generator. When they get back to the shop, they can switch that over and plug it in and run off of line power. And so if they have to let them, stay in there overnight, or it's at the end of the day when they get back with the carcasses, then they can let it just keep it running all night long. Let the carcasses hang in the trailer until they can transfer it into their cooler, into their butcher shop.
I would think the biggest thing that probably surprises them that there's something that actually exists.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't realize you could do this all in a trailer, that you could make it easier on yourself. You have all the equipment there. But I think that's one of the biggest things is they just don't know that this really does exist, that it is feasible, the price point and the quality that surprise people the most.
Yeah, I would agree. And the people that I've talked to as we go to different conventions, the different meat processing conventions, and travel around, and that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things probably is like, man, I remember one time pulling into a well-established butcher shop. The first thing they said was, wow, we've never seen anything this nice. Because they are nice and clean. We do a really good professional job at it. They have people that are doing it with a flatbed pickup truck and a hoist, and then they see an actual trailer. That I think is what surprises people the most.
We sent one down to Utah, and the state inspectors down there said, wow, we've never seen a new trailer. We've sent the first trailer in 40 years down to Utah. to mobile slaughter. And so that's, it's kind of incredible that, finally after 40 years, they finally see a new trailer. So this behind us is one of our bigger trailers. We kind of classify it as a number 4 trailer, number 5 trailer. It's almost, what it is that it's got an 18-foot kill compartment, and then it has an additional refrigeration compartment in the center. And then in front, it has another 12-foot or 14-foot butcher shop. And so this is almost everything on wheels. You go out, kill the animal, bring them inside, cool them down, and then you can then continue on inside the trailer, process them, and then.
Yeah, and this one, these bigger trailers like this are what we call like our number 4 trailer. This one is truly a custom trailer. It's probably the tallest trailer that we've done, and then it's 40 plus feet long at the end of the day. It is also, it can be USDA. It is USDA compliant with everything that's going to be in the trailer at the end of it when it gets finished up. So yeah, this one here is it's kind of a hybrid, like Robert was saying. It's kind of a mix between our number 4 and number 5 trailer.
I mean, I like the refrigeration and the interior walls, the FRP walls. Those are pretty nice. I don't think anybody else has those. The refrigeration is just a cool little unit, relatively inexpensive for what you get. I mean, it's been a great little machine for us, and we haven't had that many breakdowns with it. But being able to offer that refrigeration to anybody, anywhere, anytime is pretty impressive.
On this particular trailer, one of the coolest features I think is hydraulic jacks that we put on the front and the hydraulic leveling system that's on the trailer, so that the trailer is always level no matter how much weight. You can counterbalance that weight using the hydraulic leveling system. Having grown up hand cranking trailers as most of us did, it's a lot easier to just push that button and have that trailer go up and down. So a lot easier to hook on and disconnect also.
I like the insulating side of it because I feel like once we get to the insulation, we're on the downhill slope. Once you get them insulated, then they put the outside sheets on, they skin it really fast, and you're pretty much getting pretty close to the end.
Watching it all come together, you look at something like in the beginning, all the different pieces, because we do everything in-house, start to finish, from the design all the way through to the end. And for me, I think the coolest part of the build process is watching it, like in this case, in this one, watching it roll out of the welding shop to come over to the finish shop. We're halfway there, at that point, and so that's probably the coolest part of the build process for me.
So if you're able to process or kill an animal under USDA inspection, that opens up the doors to sell all that meat retail. So you could open up a storefront, you could sell jerky, you could process it further and do sausages and jerkies and snack sticks, and it just opens up a whole new world that you could actually open up your own little butcher shop, and you could sell directly to the consumer, and you wouldn't have to, then you can sell it by the pound. You can sell directly to restaurants, you can sell directly to other people. So it does open up a whole new world, but it also opens up quite a few different challenges as well.
Mm-hmm. What everybody has told us is, that the regulations are there. If you just simply follow them, and stay within the guidelines, the biggest benefit to being USDA or having that capability is the additional revenue stream into your business.
Quite a few different ones. One of the early ones, his name's Hogan. He's in Massachusetts. He's been a really good guy. He was one of the first ones that we built the smallest trailer, the bumper pole, just because that's what he needed, that's what he wanted, and we just adjusted everything to adapt to his needs. And he took his from butchering, I don't know, maybe a couple animals a month to he does it part-time. He doesn't do it full-time, I don't think. But he's able to definitely do 5 or 10 a month. And it took him doing from nothing to actually doing something. You know, he's always been calling, and we've talked back and forth, like, what can we do next? You know, how can we maybe let's make you a little butcher shop in a box, and we just drop ship it to your house, right? And then you have a little butcher shop, and then you have your trailer, and then you can just keep growing and growing. So, and that was kind of exciting in the earlier days to see, okay, we can be flexible, we can adapt to whatever their needs are, and then it turns to a huge success for them.
I've stayed in contact with guys in Dillon, Montana, Beaverhead Meats. They bought one. They have a well-established butcher shop. They were running into some issues on the kill side of things with the city of Dillon, and this trailer was a solution for them. And then they picked it up 1st of December. They sent me a picture and said, hey, first beef through. And then I think it was around maybe the 1st of March, towards the end of February, 1st of March, and he said, beef number 100 going through. And so it's definitely opened up more capacity for them and for their butcher shop. And so they've been super happy with that.
Usually we ask them in the beginning a set of questions. And so if their butcher shop currently can only handle quarters, well, then we know that it's an 8-foot ceiling, it's a number 1 or number 2. But if they can take full halves, well, then we can jump up to our bigger trailers. And then if they want to, the other question would be if they wanted to go USDA inspected or a custom killed trailer. And between those two questions and some other ones, we can kind of narrow it down. Really in the beginning, people didn't know what they wanted. And so that's why I created the different sizes of trailers. And we've kind of helped with those sizes. We can kind of orientate people which trailer that they need pretty quickly, and then change it from there. So we could add a couple more feet, we can make it a couple feet shorter, and just customize it to their needs. But basically we've got the foundation, the size, and then we can make adaptations after that.
When we're consulting with them to help them figure out not just that, but what's the end, like what are they doing? Are they trying to sell to the public? Are they custom exempt? Sometimes they call us and they're brand new, they're just getting into it. And so it's an opportunity to help them along in the process. And we have a solution for them. We just need to figure out which one's the right one.
When you look it up, there's not that many producers that build these trailers. And so knowing that, and then also be able to, we created a really small, very simple website, and I'd get calls on them weekly from the beginning. And that right there told me, you know, there is a need for it. We just got to figure out how to market it and get it out there to show these people. And that's what, you know, that first trailer took us 3 months to build. There were a lot of mistakes made on that trailer, a lot of mistakes. And it was a lot of going back to the drawing board, like, how do we make this work better? How do we make it easier? How do we make it more efficient? You know, in the beginning, there was a huge demand, and there still is today. And we get compliments and questions daily about these trailers.
As we've expanded, we started going to conventions last year. There's a national convention, the American Association of Meat Processors, and then there's probably about 30 different state associations, and some of them have multiple states in them. Going to those different conventions last year and then going to more this year, trying to expand, we've definitely heard from a lot of people, you know, how much of a need there is. It is a very special product that we have. We're going through COVID, where a lot of cattle producers were booking kills out for calves that weren't even born yet, and they were 2-3 years out. And then so that there was a huge backlog on all these butcher shops. And then it also there's different avenues as well as for wild game processing, and a lot of butcher shops slowed down or stopped doing wild game processing and all of those different things. So there's lots of different uses for it, you know, not just on the livestock side, but on the wild game side as well. We went to the World Pork Expo last year. We answered more questions about guys wanting to look at this for their deer camps, you know, not for livestock stuff, you know. And so that was interesting, but there definitely is a huge need for it, huge demand.
We try our best. How's that? Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes, and you know, a trailer is never perfect. It's going to break down, but we want to be able to to stand and tell you that we've done our best. We tried our best, and we'll do our best to fix it. And that's pretty much all you can ask of anybody. But we really will stand behind our product, and we'll bend over backwards trying to help you get it fixed. We're not scared to go where you are and help you with whatever we can, or find somebody that will.
Robert's made some late night trips to Arizona or New Mexico. Was it New Mexico? New Mexico. We do everything in-house, start to finish. The design, the cut, the bend, the weld, everything in the finish shop right here behind us. You know, all the wiring, the electrical, all the plumbing, everything's done here in-house by our guys. And like Robert said, you know, we stand behind it. You know, I've delivered a few trailers, you know, personally. You know, we go out and deliver them a couple times, and, you know, do a walk around and explain things. And we're always available. We get phone calls like, hey, how do we do this? How do we do that? And, you know, or they have questions about things. And so we just get phone calls, and we try to, you know, be as responsive as we can be. And, you know, at the end of the day, take care of them. Like you said, you know, occasionally you're going to have something break down or something not work right. We'll stand behind that. That they're available.
I wish they would know the actual money side of it, right? How that trailer is going to change their business forever. It will make them more money, and it will make it easier. And if they could see the actual numbers, it'd be pretty easy for them. If they actually knew all the different numbers that were involved in it, the cost and the output that they could achieve with it, I think it'd help them make their decision better.
At the end of the day, I think the biggest factor, the biggest difference maker in whether they pull the trigger or not, or how soon they pull the trigger, is the money side of it. Will it grow their business? And if they can just catch that vision and see that, and see the potential ROI on that, and how that can grow their business exponentially. Because they could start out with a smaller trailer, and then they could, you know, build up, you know, or maybe add multiple trailers.